Hello, everybody. This is going to be an amalgamation video of um, covering some topics that I've been meaning to get to and just haven't been able to get to for various reasons. First of all, this is the war server. This is my Laotian. I've been playing on the war server lately because on the free-to-play Caribbean main server, um, the economy is so bad that getting a hold of even a permit for this ship is exorbitantly expensive for people like me. Now, if you're the in club and you're one of the guys that everyone likes, then yeah, no problem. You'll just be given a permit for 10,000 doubloons, which is a monetary value of about 520,000 reals. But for people like me, the average person who is not on the in group, um, it's 8 million reals. 5 to 8 million reals. Even on a even if you were to buy it at buy prices, it'd only be 2.7 million reals, which I could actually do. I'd be okay. It's a bit expensive, I feel, but 2.7 is a whole lot better than 5 to 9 million. 9 million is the highest I've ever seen it asked for, so they fluctuate between 6 and 8 million right now. And I can't do that. Not for a ship. I mean, you've got 13 hours of hauling for the line ship items. Then you probably got another 2 hours of hauling for the regular items. And then you've got to buy the wood, which is going to, if it's seasoned wood, it's going to be somewhere around 4 million, 3.8 million. If it's rare wood, it's going to be 6.1 million, or 5.8 million with rare wood. And altogether, a rare wood Laotian will cost you 6.1 million if you buy everything at shop prices, and that's assuming about between 2,100 reals a log for rare wood. And okay, so the price fluctuates a little bit depending what you buy your woods at. Now, to then go and add another 6 to 8 million on top of that just for the permit, we're talking a week or more of grinding to get those reals, and that's for someone who's grinding with multiple accounts. So for the player who's just average, he's not on the in group who's getting stuff handed to him. You're not in this well-organized alliance. It's unobtainable. It's just out of your reach. So I'm stuck at 4th rates because, let's see, I've got Bologna permits. I found them. Sailing to Bologna right now is pretty much like sailing the worst 3rd rate in the game. I've seen very few Bolognas being used in combat. So yeah, I'm on the war server, and I wanted to address something else. Perks. Let's look at perks, because this Game Labs really just, this update, they killed the economy, they improved combat, but the perks, you knocked the perks out of the park. I love the perks. Let's look at the perks. First of all, you no longer need to buy a perk reset permit from this store. Okay? You just come here, reset perks, pay your 200 doubloons, and it's confirmed. Now, let's go over these perks. Advanced Survival. This is going to improve your bailing. So if you're running a ship that's easy to leak sink, these survival perks are your friend. And of course, it helps hull repair amount, which is which is cool a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit, and improves urgent repair cooldown. But that bailing, that's the huge thing. That'll keep you from being leak sunk. Carpenter. It reduces the repair time, meaning how long it takes to get your repair done. Very important if you want to keep your guns going. It improves repair amount, so buffs repair amount, nice. Repair. Armor repair crew, sail repair crew, so minus 14%. Also keeps your guns going while you're repairing. Very good perk. Sail damage, negative 19%. So I imagine this perk will help you to avoid getting sail shock, which there's application there. That is actually, if you anticipate running around where there's a bunch of gankers going to try to sail shock you to slow you down, that could be a really, really powerful perk. I look at mastery enforcement mainly as anyone who's driving a brig and doesn't want to get demasted. Could be really valuable. This perk I don't understand. This, again, it's another repair amount. Repair time. Sail Master 3, 14 and 6. 14 and 6. Oh. Okay, so this is only for hull. And that's for sail. Okay, whatever. Now, gunnery perks. I love the gunnery perks. I love the fact that we have 2, and you have to choose between accuracy or penetration. They both give you reload time, and one's negative 4%, one's negative 3%. But if you stack those, then you have a winning combination. But, you know, that's 2 slots. Before we address the maneuvering perks, those ship handling perks, let's talk about maneuver perks. You have hulls in the game. The Trincomalee and the Ravizan, they're classified as interceptor class ships, and therefore their turn speed is nerfed. This perk makes it so much nicer to sail both those ships. So when I'm running the Trink or the Ratv, I use maneuver perks. Now, this is a beautiful perk. I love the seamanship perks because that acceleration, that determines how fast your ship gets going. It also determines how fast it stops and reverses. Which, if you're a combat technician that likes to maneuver to avoid damage, that's an almost indispensable perk. Now let's go down to this one. All right, sail trim. I don't use this except on my trade ships. My trade brig runs these 2 perks, and it gets going really fast because there's 2.5% speed there, another 1.25% speed there, or if you can afford it, you can get 5 to 7.5% more speed. That's huge on a very fast trade ship already. Now, yard trim perks. I consider this an almost indispensable perk for any line ship. And I could be wrong about this. Love to hear from some of the more experienced people in the comments. I find that yard power seems to... so you know when you manually sail and you turn your yards to help your ship turn faster. Yard power helps with turning your ship faster. I like it. All right, now useful perks. Sextant, we're talking about you have 5 perks. I don't take it. Always run combat repairs on any combat ship. I don't take combat repairs when I'm running my brig and hauling goods around because, frankly, I don't anticipate killing anybody in a brig, but if it's a ship that I anticipate killing, combat repairs goes with me. Now, privateer. I always take it mainly because of this crew difference for boarding, 25%. This means they have to have 25% more crew than you in order to board you. If they don't reach that threshold, they're not boarding you. That is a powerful defensive perk, and just today in a port battle, I saw a guy lose his ship because, oh, I got boarded. Dude, why didn't you have privateer? So many people overlook this. Privateer perk. That if I'm going into PvP, that's my second perk that I load up. So, since we're gonna go on a cruise, privateer. Okay. On top of it, privateer also gives you an additional module drop in PvP, and if you board someone, it's got some boarding perks, as in when you board someone successfully, 50% of their crew is added to yours, and it damages the enemy morale by 25%. That's useful. Brawler. If you're running carronades, if your ship is all carronades, this is an indispensable perk. Number one, because carronade dispersion is negative 25%. Now, for any other ships, like some of our ships have a traverse, as in they can't traverse forward and back as much. Different third rates and second rates and first rates have, no, I don't think the first rates, but there's some third rates especially that have a limited, and fifth rates too. They've a limited traverse. That 10% will help. The other thing is, Brawler has what used to be called the control perk. And if you are at plus 500, they can't exit. People have looked at sniper. Oh, Brawler also gives you double shot, so that's good for immense damage for a limited amount of time. Sniper, people have looked at that as more penetration, more downward traverse, and allows use of double charge. So basically, if you're into leak sinking, probably want sniper. Bravery 2. We need to talk about bravery. Number one, increase some combat parameters if outnumbered. Only works if your team's BR is significantly lower than the opposing team's BR. Let me explain what they mean by significantly lower. If you take these perks, the enemy has to out BR you by 100%. So in my first rate, if I load this up, I expect to be fighting 800 BR, and as soon as I sink one of their ships, I lose all these bonuses. So keep that in mind on bravery. It's a mixed basket. You only got 5 slots on your perks. And loading bravery, while they're very, very powerful, though, max speed 5% isn't really as powerful as it once was, but the 15% cannon reload and the 20% repair time and 15% repair amount, those are powerful. The max speed, 5% max speed, not so powerful anymore because we have perks up here that we can run that'll equal that. Now, I'm gonna, reset this. I'm on the war server. I have lots of perk points because, I've been here forever. Privateer. I'm going to take Brawler. And then I'm going to take Yard Trim 5. And then I'm going to take Seamanship 5. Alright. Let's go over. Alright. I see a lot of people on this server saying, I'm going to take AI in my fleet. to help killing. The AI don't help you kill things. If you take them in your fleet, basically expect to lose them. They may attract fire and give you a little bit of time to get damage in, but they're not really going to help you combat-wise against AI too much. They're kind of dumb. Your AI that you get are not like the other AI. They're not like Elite AI. They're certainly not like Elite AI, and they're not even as good as open world AI. Your AI are pretty much really basic and stupid and can't even take basic orders from you. In fact, sometimes they'll just drop their sail and do nothing. So not very helpful. So don't do this. All you're doing here is inflating your battle rating so that other players can get in, and then you're fighting multiple players with stupid AI. So bad idea. Okay, merchant perk. If you're hauling goods, this is a good thing to get. Mortar perk. Well, if you're in a mortar brig, yeah, you should have that one. All right, now I want to point a few things out. You set your perks up for your ship, and you change them based on the ship you're running, obviously. I mean, adding 18% turn rate, yeah, that's going to help this thing, but it turns like a whale anyway. And we're not really into that. But I want to point something out on these two perks. If you're running a high-end carpenter, this will augment it, the carpenter perk. But this repair control party, I'm not taking it, and here's why. Because I have books, and we need to address books. Alright, so, art of ship handling, carpenter combat reports. So, these two books, in my opinion, if you're PvPing, you need to have carpenter combat reports and boatswain combat reports. And the only reason is this sail repair and armor repair crew negative 15%, stacked with this is negative another 10%. That's negative 25%. In other words, you are still going to do your guns are going to keep loading at almost the normal speed because you require 25% less crew. Now, you can, of course, if you buff that with that, I forget what it's called. Repair control, yeah, you can get it so that you need negative 75% less crew, but I think at that point you're overkilling. I have been running these two books on all my combat ships and been quite satisfied. I haven't noticed since I've started running those books. I haven't been sitting there going, come on, load the guns. Now let me tell you where to get these books. Okay. I believe right here, PvP rewards. Boatswain, combat. Yes, it's 150 combat medals. So that is 5 days of maxing out 70 medals. 1, 2, yeah. You do that, you'll have some fine books, and you don't even have to go and find them in a storage locker. The Pirate Den or the Admiralty Shop, whatever it's called in your particular nation, has 4 combat medals, has some fairly decent upgrades. Now, let's go over leak sinking because I addressed leak sinking. I want to share with you an upgrade that is really good for you if you are sailing any victory or a Christian or a ship that's prone to getting leak sunk in PvP. You see that leak repair 10%? if you're running that, and if you run Navy Orlop refit and a St. Kitts pump, let's see, I should have a St. Kitts pump, do I? I don't see one. I hardly ever run St. Kitts pump because I never sail Victories. Lovely ship, but and I would sell it, but back when it was not homogenized, I really enjoyed it. But you know, the only thing it does now is sails faster than the other ones. Anyway, Admiralty Shop Pirate Den still has some really good upgrades that you can buy for combat medals, and these are entry-level upgrades. As soon as you have combat medals, you can buy them and use them. The entry-level PvP. Of course, you can find better upgrades in the open world, but that's hit and miss. This is not. You can go and get the combat medals, then you can go and buy these things. And by the way, Navy Hull Refit is one of the best speed mods in the game. It's 2%. Some of your other speed mods only give you 1% or 1.5%. That's 2%. This is, as I understand it, the best speed mod in the game at 3%. So, not bad. Navy Carpenters is not as good as Northern Carpenters, but again, it's there for 20 combat medals. Okay. I'm going to get going here, and then we're going to do story time. Alright, story time. Where am I? I'm on the war server. Wait a minute, Izzy. What is this war server? Well, Game Labs actually has 3 servers for Naval Action. There is the peace server, where absolutely no PvP combat exists. There is the war server for PvP, and then there's the new boy on the block, the Caribbean main server. The Caribbean main server is the default and only option for any account created late 2022 or after. All the servers have roughly the same mechanics with just 3 main differences. 1, the War and Peace servers are perpetual, no wiping of assets, resetting of progress. 2, both the War and Peace servers have 12 nation factions. 3, Game Labs only cares about the Caribbean main server, the free-to-play server, which is why there are now no longer safe zones around war server national capitals like Christiansted and Gustavia, because, Sweden and Denmark aren't part of the 4 nations that you find on the Caribbean main. Oh yeah, there's one other thing. When Game Labs has polled gamers regarding the future updates, those polls only existed on the free-to-play Caribbean main server. War and Peace servers, who paid to get the game, had no say or voice in the... Another fun fact, Steam Charts compiles player numbers over all 3 servers when reporting data on the popularity of the game, which is why their numbers and the population counter on any one of their servers never matches. Now, back in 2022, when we heard free-to-play was coming, most of the player base felt that would be a good idea. What we didn't know then is that there would be a completely new server with seasonal wiping, and all players hate wipes. And we didn't know that Game Labs would wall off the peace and war servers from new players. So any players who created an account after the game went free to play, you don't get access to the war or peace servers. You just don't have the option. Sorry, we would love to have you here, but Game Labs made a decision to lock you out. Next question. Izzy, why are you playing on the war server? Hey, I play on both the war and Caribbean server. I have all my ship bonuses, my shipyard and plenty of reals. I did buy the Rotterdam, so I can do that 15 plus hour of sailing for the Lineship components. Yippee! And I have enjoyed the experience on the Caribbean server. However, I cannot obtain affordable Lineships. Even if I were to buy all the materials myself, the trick is the permits. See, Game Labs decided that all ships need permits, and all permits are sourced from open world harvesting or clan resource missions. Now, this year they introduced rare guns, rare woods, and permits to these clan resource missions to encourage ports to have a value to create more RVR concept. Wow, what a concept! Oh, you're actually thinking about game design. Anyway, I got really excited about the idea and I thought finally I will be able to sail a rare wood ship and finally buy rare guns. This is something that I haven't done. See, I made a classic mistake of thinking that other people would sell these clan resources on the open market. And through competition, the price for such items would drop, which meant that all I needed to do is generate enough reals to afford them. Boy, was I wrong there. Firstly, let's address the two ways to get permits. Open world harvesting. The permits don't drop often enough. In 2 months of harvesting, my clan came up with exactly 2 Laotian permits and 1 Santissima permit. I got lucky and came up with a Christian and Bologna permit. Woo woo. The 2 worst ships in their class now. Thanks, Game Labs. And clan resource missions provide their own problem. See, the clan members cannot pull these missions. One member of the leadership team of that clan can pay doubloons for the item. So there's 5 ports that drop Laotian permits and 5 that drop Santissima permits, and so on for most of the ships in the game. So the entire game supply in a 24-hour period is 10 first-rate permits a day for RVR. We don't count victories for RVR. Now this system is laughable for sourcing permits. One 7,500 BR port battle can eliminate upwards of 20 first rates. However, to compound the issue, clans treat their resources as strategic assets, and they don't sell these things on the open market. In fact, the war server, which is dead, has more guns and rare woods and permits on the open market than the more densely populated Caribbean server. So I'm on the war server because I've progressed as far as I can. I'm effectively locked out of Lineship content because those permits are so rare, they are prohibitively expensive. See the action before you right now? This is the 3rd fight. This Neptune guy tagged an LGV outside La Tortue. I jumped in and I sank him. When I emerged from that instance, there were 2 Danes, him, and a pair of French players outside. This is what happens in Naval Action. Permanent loss is a thing. Game Labs has made Lineships so prohibitively expensive to procure, both in time and in-game currency, that I just cannot afford to replace a 20 to 30 million real first rate every other day. But why is it 20 to 30 million? Yes, technically, they aren't truly valued at 20 to 30 million. But that's where we get into the story of why Izzy can't have nice things. I have been told in Nation Chat that it's because of who I am. See, apparently, I have angered too many other gamers, either by sinking them, helping them win port fights,
Sorry, I'm outside La Tortugue.
or by not bowing down to their favorite clan leader when he tried to take command of the port fight I'd been entrusted with. It has been reported to me that I have a fan club of Izzy haters on the Naval Action Discord. I don't really know who these are because Admiralty Speaker banned me from that Discord years ago for, quote, undermining the credibility of the development team. But it seems my fan club enjoy making assumptions about me. Here's one. There's a lot to unpack here, but let's address something right now. Something that seems to be tripping my fan club up.
No.
I am not,
Don't think so.
nor have I ever claimed to be an elite level player of Naval Action. I have been privileged to fight with and against some of the very best, and I have learned from each experience. In fact, I don't make any of my arguments or give advice based on seeing what the elites do. In fact, I deliberately attempt to make my arguments and disseminate information from the perspective of the average player of Naval Action. Look, sometimes I miss shots. You see it here. Sometimes I mishandle a situation. I'm just an average level player. What I feel I'm truly exceptional at is analyzing and understanding game mechanics. Now, maybe this doesn't seem important, but apparently it's a skill because some of my very vocal and prominent critics don't have these skills. See, I've got a guy called Hart who thinks I'm overly concerned about my reputation. And Admiral de Villeneuve cannot seem to find me at the front of a line of 19 pirates heading at him. Yeah. So, I simply try to help people enjoy the game and understand it from the perspective of an average player. Which is why when I started on the free-to-play server, even though I'd been over there last year and had rank, I deliberately wiped everything and started all over. And it was a good experience. I learned what it's like, and I didn't like it really, but they fixed it, they made it better. Good on them. So, to sum it up, new accounts are locked out of the war server, which is a shame. I feel Game Labs ought to sell this server as a perpetual server, no wipes, remove the safe zones, re-implement home defense fleets, and remove VR spoofing, which is reducing crew to lower your ship's VR so you can sneak past the HDFs.
I already sunk this hard guy. I've already sunk him once. If you can grape one down, I'll board him, but I'd like him to be down around 600-700. I opened up the bow. They want to grape.
Then sell access to the server by saying, hey, we have a server for hardcore clan territory conquest warfare. It has 12 factions. Go crazy.
Alright, mystery guy is Khrushchev. Sergio is going to try to do the same to me.
Second improvement. Keep safe zones as is on Caribbean server. Keep four nations. Allow it to be an introduction to naval action. And most importantly, allow players to port their assets to the war server when they buy access. Obviously, nobody should be allowed to port access back the other way.
Calling again. Yes, get Sergio. Give him a hard time, please. Got him in boarding.
Third improvement. Ship permits should be restored to the shop. Let us procure them for doubloons. If we're going to keep rare woods and rare guns, then the clan resource mission should be available to everyone in the clan. This means every person in that clan can buy their own rare wood, permit, guns from the port to sell or use on their own ships. Yes, it does mean each gun won't be valued at 150,000, and that will reduce the overall cost of the elite Lineships nicely.
Keep trying to push him off.
And by the way, what you're seeing on screen here with this boarding action, this is not generally improved, and yeah, we players don't like it. Sorry, Game Labs.
I got him down to 400 crew though, so it's gotta be rough on him. His morale is 0. I will attack in 3 rounds at a time. He's not breaking him free. I can attack, not yet.
Fourth improvement. Reintroduce Admiralty Real payments for NPC ship kills. Boost the income generator for the average player, so losses don't hurt so much.
And Sergio's unhappy with this. Very, very unhappy. No, I killed him.
Fifth, consider removing rare woods in their entirety, or enable rare wood plantations to be installed via the investment of NSMs. 6. Stop relying on ship DLCs for your income. Instead, sell cosmetic items.
Come on, come on, come on. Get the ship going. Sergio just lost 160 crew. We're even, he can't board me now. I'm gonna take boarding down, now we're just killing. On him down.
These cosmetic items could include custom figureheads, a ship naming DLC.
Don't have to be fancy, we just have to not get leak sunk and put ball into hull.
And perhaps the clan flag DLC. Oh, 7th. Improve the painter DLC and remove the restrictions on it. so that I can paint as many ships as I want in a 24-hour period. Naturally, the paint would have to be removed before you sold or traded the ship. However, it would stay on the captured ship, which would make it a novelty item, especially if you designed paint schemes that were national. So the Brits have a paint scheme that the pirates could never get. A pirate sailing a ship with a paint on it that only the British can apply sends a nice little message. Lastly, and most importantly, enhance personal and clan storage. If I'm not mistaken, there are 64 ships in the game, yet the average player is limited to owning 35 if you purchase the dock space expanding DLCs. 20 ships if you don't. And then you have only 88 slots in the warehouse, and this is a problem. Again, you have 64 ships, and right now we must have a permit for each. Can you imagine the ship crafter's inventory at their principal crafting port? It's tight, especially with the 5 newly added line ship components on top of the 7 regular ingredients, then the frame and the planking works. That's 78 slots taken up. Guess what happens when I want to redeem and open mission chests at my principal crafting port? Wood chests? The juggling is real. So why implement these changes? Each one of them at some level addresses a problem that is locking players out of a good experience. These limitations are adding aggravation, reducing enjoyment, and driving players from the game. Yes, a small cadre of gamers benefit from the exclusivity, and they will disagree profusely with what's said. But here's the problem. The people who agree with me aren't playing the game anymore. So yes, the small cadre of players will play this game and say everything's fine, Izzy is stupid. Except they can't seem to explain the abysmal server numbers. Right now, I'm locked out of playing Naval Action on the Caribbean server because the developers of Naval Action are relying on players to be good-natured, generous, and willing to share gear in a competitive MMO. That's never going to work. If you've made it this far, thanks for sticking with me. I hope you enjoyed the perk overview as well as the rant about locking players out and driving people from the server. Oh, look who's waiting for me. Couldn't have guessed. Round 5 is about to begin.